Hello, Object Show friendos. I hope you're all doing well, taking care of yourselves, feeling awesome, or as awesome as you can possibly feel. And if you ain't feeling too awesome, I hope things pick up for you. Hopefully another episode of Object Show Roundup can help take your mind off things for at least a little while. So yeah, we're doing a midweek episode again. I thought these were going to end up being few and far between, but it turns out that I need to keep doing them. Because yes, Inanimate Insanity Season 4, Episode 4 did come out, so we need to dive into that, don't we? And then BFDIA 23 comes out today, by the time this video goes up. So I am going to be such a busy Mikey this week. I swear I have had a busy weekend already. I've got so many things on the go, exciting things happening that I'm going to keep a secret because I'm trying to be better at keeping secrets. Also, yes, I have a long sleeve shirt on today because it's starting to get to that time of year where it's starting to get a little bit cold down here in this room. So I need to keep myself a little bit warmer. So I'm going to crack out the super fashionable long sleeve stuff. All my geeky shirts are short sleeved. I have no long sleeve geeky shirts, so get used to seeing this kind of attire going forwards in videos for the next little while. But yes, so it's not just Inanimate Insanity we'll be talking about, though. There is some other little updates from here and there and everywhere, as always. So we'll just get stuck in, shall we? And we are actually, though, getting started straight off with AnimationEpic and that new episode of Inanimate Insanity, though. So I'll have to say it, of course, like I always do. Here be spoilers. We will be diving into the episode and all the little things that happened in it, and I'd hate to ruin the episode for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, so if you haven't gotten around to watching it yet and you're going to be doing so, and you don't want to know anything that happens, this is the time you just skip on to the next chapter in the video. This is why I split them into chapters, so that you could skip this kind of stuff if you need to. But if you have watched it and you are ready to hear what I thought, or if you haven't watched it but don't really mind hearing what I thought and all the bits of the episode, let's get stuck in, because a lot happened. So, this episode, Fan the Flames, starts right where we left the last one off. So at the end of episode 3, Meatag was eliminated from the competition. They grabbed Poppy's hand and ran into the forest. So now we rejoin them with Fan and Bot chasing after them as a storm gathers ahead, because, you know, whenever there's a dramatic scene going on, you need a storm. It's just how it works. Fan falls first into some mud, and Bot insists that they be the one to continue the chase. And they tell Fan to come with backup if they're not back in 5 minutes. Sounds fair, doesn't it? Just usually always sets up for a disaster when that kind of thing happens. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Never say that. Meatag takes Poppy to the edge of a cliff where they can see the whole island. It would probably look a lot prettier if it wasn't so dark, cloudy, and stormy, you know. It's still a pretty nice view. Meatag then starts glowing, but before anything else can happen, Bot dives in and tackles them, thinking they're saving Poppy, but Poppy just gets frustrated.
Are you alright, Poppy?
Hey, stop treating them like the bad guy!
What? But they kidnapped you!
Well, what do you even care? Everybody down there hates us anyway.
Hate you? We don't...
Oh, of course not! You just hate that other corn cob, right? The one whose corpse you keep lying around in the open like it's a joke? Yay, he's dead! What am I supposed to think when I see that every day? I'm sorry I look like him, okay?
I'm sorry, Poppy. That must feel confusing.
I am confused. I don't know who I am, where I came from, or why Meatag brought me here, but at least I know they care about me. The real me.
Yeah, lots of echoes of how Bot felt when they were discovering their real selves after initially being created to be a replacement for Bo back in Season 3. It was also a nice touch showing them looking at their reflection during Poppy's speech to kind of, really emphasize that point. Poppy asks Bot to let Meatag go, but before Bot can respond, Fan turns up with the safety squad, Paintbrush, Life Ring, and Box, along with Test Tube and the OSC, and that's OJ, Suitcase, and Cabby. I have to mention the hilarity of Suitcase's asset just kind of floating in to shot instead of running looking concerned like everyone else. I mean, it did take away from the moment for a second, and it took away from the intensity of the scene, but it did make me giggle. And these things happen. Or maybe it was intentional. I have no idea. It was super goofy though. And it was a really interesting moment to see with all the seriousness going on. Oh, even the best pros can flub things up now and again, I flub up all the time. I can't judge anybody. So MeTag then creates a barrier between themselves, Poppy and Bot, and everyone else. And the safety squad make a plan to try and climb over it, while Bot tries to tell them not to. But unfortunately, of course, the barrier is a wee bit soundproof. So unfortunately, Bot's cries for "don't do it" go unheeded. MeTag then starts glowing again and projects the Meeple logo into the sky, which isn't a huge surprise because MeTag is a Meeple product. But it's like, what's the deal? Why are you doing? What is this? That logo then turns into a call with an unknown corn-based person.
Who is that?
Poppy must be summoning a corn army to finish what Cobb started.
There must be a more logical...
I'm not losing our kid to Meeple! We gotta hurry!
Tower formation, go!
Finally!
Yes! I knew MeTag brought me here for a reason. Hi! Hello! It's so wonderful to meet you! My name's Poppy!
Steve, is that you? We thought you were dead!
Oh, I don't think so.
So they're trying to reach Steve Cobbs. Alright. Knew we hadn't heard the last of that name. I mean, they've just got his body lying around, so obviously we haven't heard the last of that name. Also, don't worry. I didn't miss Fan calling Bot our kid in that scene. Yes, that made me super emotional. Even though Fan, Test Tube, and Bot have had that family dynamic feel since season 3 wrapped up, it's just nice to hear it out loud. And I was like, as soon as Fan said that, I kind of went, oh! Yes, I did notice, don't worry. The unknown corn person then asks a flurry of questions, including one asking why Poppy has Steve's MeTag. Now, that's interesting. So this MeTag was specifically Steve's. This is Steve's MeTag. The MeTag that was Steve's. That just adds even more questions to the pile. So, again, we just go back to the where did Poppy come from? Why is MeTag trying to connect them with the other corn people? The corn person also asks where Poppy is, and Poppy manages to say it's an island before Bot shuts the call down. So, already so much there. That means whoever was on the end of that call, they've got a little bit more of a clue as to where they might be. Obviously, there's people out there trying to find out what happened to Steve. So this is going to play into the season quite a lot. At what point does the contest stop being the driving force, the competition? Because it's interesting how it started as we need another season of the competition to try and help all the people who didn't figure themselves out, But we're already diverting away from that. I'm not saying the contest is just going to stop happening. All I'm saying is these stakes keep on getting higher from outside of the competition. Anywho, since Bot stopped the call, Poppy's like, why did you do that? I wanted to talk to them some more. Bot's like, we don't know who they are or what they want. But Poppy's not having any of that. Tries to push Bot away. And as Fan watches them fighting, he makes a snap decision.
Bot, no!
Stand down, civilian!
Leave this to the professionals!
Fan, stop! It's too dangerous!
Hey! Oh, it's that fan, huh? So this is the place. You leave us alone!
I think my heart just stopped. I had a feeling something bad was coming in this episode. But honestly, I didn't expect that. Is he dead? Don't do the fade out screen on us. Don't you dare do that to us. There's one more for the dark counter, 100%. Because that entire sequence, I just did not... I stopped breathing. I swear I didn't breathe until until we got into the next scene. So we get, oh my god, we get a time skip. And just as the sun's rising, the OSC walk out of the hospital to provide an update on Fan. Although we don't know it's Fan straight away, but we do. The context is clues are pretty much there. It's like, but Suke starts to say something like he's like really struggling to get the words out, but OJ cuts in to say that he's stable. Goodness me, do not even make me worry like that. Like, I'd say it's pretty clear that this isn't the worst thing that's going to happen in this season. I do think we're going to have at least one character die in this season. Like, die, because that's it. We know there's no more recovery now. Someone dies, they die. And as much as I don't want that to be the way of things, it just seems inevitable. Especially now that we have that external threat to deal with. Because of whoever that corn person was. Because they're on the case now. So, if I can't cope with near-death experiences, how am I going to cope with an actual death experience, is what I'm thinking now. But, geez, this has just been a rough old time for Fan, Test Tube, and Bot in this season so far. Bot got smashed into by Toilet and is still damaged. Test Tube nearly died after falling from the ladder in episode 2, and now Fan's nearly died in episode 4. We can't keep having near-deaths in every episode. Can we have a couple of, like, non-near-death scenarios? That would be wonderful. I honestly, there's silly me saying, well, we're not going to get any more super serious stuff until further into the season. Nope, they just keep it coming. They just keep it coming and make people like me, who was so invested in these characters, absolutely panic. And I know not everybody's on the same page. And listen, you like who you like, you don't like who you don't like. That's totally fine. But please respect my feelings. That scene nearly ended me. I swear, it was awful to watch. So bad. But of course, the other worrying thing is we don't actually get to see inside of the hospital. We don't get to see Fan. So really, what does stable even mean? We have no idea yet at this point. On top of Fan nearly dying, we have another concern to deal with.
Lightbulb, are you alright? You don't look so good.
Excuse you.
No, I mean you're green. Look!
Ah, I'm hideous.
There. Admitting it is a healthy first step.
Are you sick? Ooh, I get to whip up some of my famous matzo lump soup.
Ugh, I thought we were trying to keep people out of the hospital.
I think your Blu-ray's just wearing off. Come on, let's go get you a fresh coat.
So the Blu-ray can wear off too? That's another worrying thing. Because the shimmer energy that the aliens left behind at the end of Season 2, that they used to make the Blu-ray spray, or Test Tube uses to make the Blu-ray spray, is a limited resource. They don't have an endless supply of this stuff. So what happens when it runs out? Especially now that everyone's clamoring to be sprayed after what happened to Fan. I mean, that incident really made it a lot clearer to everyone that their lives are indeed finite now. At any given time, anyone could just die. And then that would be it. I think that really hammered it home for a lot of them. I mean, they knew. It was there in their heads. They did know that this was a thing that could happen. That's why Lightbulb already had the Blu-ray. But just because Lightbulb's one of the clumsiest characters, that's probably also one of the reasons. But yeah, it just really seems to have hit home for everybody now. So Test Tube is under a lot of pressure here, with everyone fighting over who gets to be sprayed. But OJ steps in and, like, to clear everyone out. It's like, look, unless you really desperately need it right now, just back off. We don't have an unlimited supply of this stuff. Good guy, OJ. He knows what Test Tube's going through right now. He's like, I think OJ had a really good scene here, because he cleared everybody out to give Test Tube some space. As Test Tube and Bot give OJ a coat of Blu-ray and top up Lightbulb's Blu-ray, Test Tube asks Bot if they want the damage done to them repairing, but Bot brushes her off and says they feel fine and not to waste resources on them. While OJ and Lightbulb exchange an awkward glance. It's like a little bit of a tense scenario, a little bit of a tense discussion going on here. But I have to say at this point, I did make myself giggle during the scene when OJ was getting sprayed. Blue Jay. I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I know. I'm trying to break the tension in my own brain a little bit by making bad jokes. That's how I deal. Okay. Anywho, Bot then asks if Test Tube is mad at them, but it turns out Test Tube is mad at herself for not bringing the Blu-ray to the confrontation the night before, and maybe then Fan wouldn't have been in so much danger. Who knows, right? It's like anyone could be in danger at any time, I suppose, and we've already had the discussion. Like, not everybody can be Blu-rayed. It's not. There's not enough to go around. OJ then asks Spot to gather the contestants in the Hoot building for an announcement, and Test Tube asks if he's going to cancel the competition. OJ then says that's up to her. They can cancel it or put it on pause until Fan recovers. Test Tube says it should go on, and as OJ is about to say he isn't sure that Fan would want that, Test Tube brings out the Game Bible. Because of course Fan wrote something like this. And of course, he specifically wrote something that matches exactly what happened to him.
In the event of my death or incapacitation via combustion, the game is to continue so my fire can burn on.
Fans, nothing if not thorough. I guess we can keep the game going, but I really think you should take a break. I'll moderate today so you can rest.
Okay, thanks, OJ. If there's anything I can do...
You've done more than enough already.
I did also like OJ and Test Tube's interactions here. OJ just being a general all-round good guy in this scene, really. He's being such a good friend. He knew Test Tube was under a lot of pressure and stress and obviously upset about what had happened. I love him. I love him so much. I love OJ in this scene. I'm not saying OJ's perfect, not by a long stretch. Definitely got faults. That's the whole point. All of the characters in this show have their faults, and that's just who they are, and that's why I appreciate it so much as a show. Well, over in the Hoot building, OJ addresses the contestants, telling them their forensics team is on the case to figure out what happened exactly the night before. Clover and Yin Yang, I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of things. Absolute crack squad right there. OJ gives contestants the option to leave the game if they wish, but everyone decides to continue playing, which I didn't expect anybody to quit, to be honest. Poppy asks where Meatag is, with OJ saying that they're going to be sitting out for now as they get rehabilitated. Oh, hi there, Calm Down Corner. Good to see you again. OJ then refers to the Game Bible for the next challenge, but as he hasn't got a clue how to decipher fans' plans, he makes something up on the spot. Every team has to think of a get-well-soon gift to give Fan for when he wakes up, with the possibility of every team winning immunity, which would of course mean no eliminations in this episode, as OJ feels like everyone could use some lower stakes. As everyone leaves, Suitcase does express some concern at the contest continuing, and Cabby asks when they're going to tell everyone what actually happened on the cliff. OJ says he doesn't want to cause a panic right now, and everyone having a challenge to focus on will help them channel their fears into something positive and productive. I'm sure this won't backfire at all when everyone inevitably finds out exactly what happened on the cliff. I honestly... OJ went straight from being what a good friend to Test Tube to you can't just ignore what happened. That's not going to help anybody in the long run, OJ. I know you just want to panic people, but the more you sit on this kind of information, the worse it's probably going to be when it does come out. But regardless of that, the challenge has begun. So let's see what our teams are up to. So, go big or be last. Bonesaw, Spiky, Box, Trophy, Life Ring, and Goo decide to make Fan a workout area so he can get buff when he recovers, so he can tackle any other things that come his way. I'm not sure that being buff will stop lightning, but you never know. An interesting idea. Fan's never struck me as the exercise type. Me too, Fan. Me too. I like walking. It's pretty much the most extensive exercise you'll see me doing. But it is the thought that counts, right? But before they actually decide on that idea, Goo has a question for Box.
Box, be honest. Do you think Fan is okay?
Oh, it was all a blur. I didn't see much of it.
Bro's gonna be fine. Lightning fast recovery. Oof, might be.
I don't think Box is being totally honest here. It feels like she might be trying to block out what she saw, maybe. She's been through the mill, Also, had to leave in Trophy's accidental pun, by the way, about the lightning fast recovery, because it was pretty funny. Sorry, Fan. but also because even he looked horrified with himself for saying it when he realized what he'd said. Like, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Trophy is getting a redemption arc in this season. I tell you, and like, I'm really liking where his character is going. He's actually one of the characters I was like, it's nice to see his character get developed beyond the minimal amount we saw from him before. So that's one of the character stories I'm really enjoying. All right, the thematic cats. That's Tea Kettle, Microphone, Taco, Soap, Cherries, and Teddy Bear, have settled on giving Fan a nice meal in the restaurant as their gift to him. I have to ask who wrote that sign, though. I'm going to say it wasn't Taco. I'm going to say it was Cherries. No offense, Cherries, although they certainly seem to be acting the menace today.
I know a depressed face when I see one.
Pity me and I'll depress your face!
Endearing. Take it from someone who's pushed away nearly everyone over the years. Whatever you're holding in, I promise there's a more productive way to let it out. Who did that?
Tea Kettle wanted to play fetch with the chair!
That's it. I'm going to choose to handle this maturely.
But yeah, aside from that, Taco's showing her personal growth by not slamming Cherries through the table. But is also trying to help Teddy through her anger issues. I like that. It's nice to see characters who've had a rough time helping others out. It makes me feel good, you know? It just makes me feel nice. Even if Teddy isn't exactly receptive to the advice. At least for now, anyway. Over to Circumspect now. That's Candle, Pepper, Magnet, Cheesy, and Cammy. And their plan is to put together a theory about who Meatag was trying to call on the cliff. We all know Fan loves theories and conspiracies, so this one actually feels like a solid gift, to be honest. This is the first one where I was like, actually, Fan probably would like that, to be honest. So, they decide to flip through the channels on the TV that Test Tube made to try and find some clues. It's also worth noting, though, that Paintbrush told Pepper and maybe others, that the person on the other end of the call was Purple and Corn. So OJ wants to keep things a secret, but Paintbrush has already told others. I mean, definitely Pepper, maybe other people, about what happened. So that could lead to some conflict down the road. Potentially. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, we'll see. Candle turns the TV on, telling everyone not to expect to find something right away, but then they get a little bit of clover luck, because the very first channel shows a familiar face, or what seems to be a familiar face anyway. What are the odds? But honestly, this doesn't really say much about anything. It's just a run-of-the-mill cooking show, and Pepper declares that it can't be the same person they're looking for. Candle flips through more channels before coming across the same news channel we saw back in episode 2.
Our top story, a new lead has surfaced in the continuing investigation of Steve Cobb's murder. This disturbing footage was captured by none other than...
Ugh, they're so ugly!
Cammy, the story! Change it back!
Nuh-uh. It's like a car crash in slow motion. I can't look away.
OMG, it's me phone!
Where?
Truly a devastating situation. Up next, stay tuned for an update on the weather forecast this week.
No, Cammy, why? Well, what we did find out is that Steve Cobb's murder is being investigated. And why wouldn't it be? He was a prominent and powerful CEO of a big company. And that footage of Fan plunging over the cliff seems like it was from Meatag's perspective. As, you know, they did try and grab Fan as they fell. Let's make sure we don't forget that, though. Don't forget that from that clip. Meatag did reach out and try and stop Fan from falling over the cliff. So, bear that in mind. Meatag tried to save Fan. So, anyway, there are people out there looking to bring Steve's murderers to justice. This could spell a whole lot of trouble for, well, pretty much everyone on the island. Even if whoever the con person on the call was at the beginning of the episode did recognize the Fan, right? So, it seemed to be gunning for Fan, but at the end of the day, everybody was implicit in that death of Steve Cobbs. And I ain't saying he didn't deserve it. He would have been totally fine with everybody being dead. In fact, that was his plan. So, you know, I'm not saying that he was killed unfairly or anything, but obviously from the flip side, from other people's perspectives, he's dead. And that is terrible for them. So yeah, no, I just kind of get it. Kind of. All right, finally, let's see what the heavy metal pop stars are planning. That is Lightbulb, Paper, Poppy, Tapey, Starfruit. Their idea is to put on a fun show for Fan, since he puts on a good show for them all the time. There's clearly some tensions within the group, especially still between Paper and Poppy. Paper's just got those issues just lurking, right? And like I feel like I don't like to try and bring external discussions into this too much, but I feel like Paper's getting a lot of unfair treatment from people right now. Dude's been through a lot. Dude's just really paranoid. Dude needs therapy. I mean, like, honestly. So, like, I understand. I also understand why people might be a bit annoyed, because Paper does just keep going, being mean to Poppy. But Paper doesn't know the whole story about what happened on the cliff. There are people who've explained to Paper, but Paper still has misgivings. And, like, I mean, I do kind of get it, okay? Anywho, regardless, I don't want to get too deep into that right now anyway. But yes, there is, that tension is definitely there. But Tapey does come to Poppy's defense. The team dynamics are definitely lacking here. And to be honest, I do put the blame on Paper. Because, like I say, he may have some legitimate concerns about Poppy, but he does need to give them a chance here. But I don't see how that's happening anytime soon with the way Paper's mind is going right now. Lightbulb chimes in with the idea of putting on a concert, since they have legendary frontman Starfruit on their team. Starfruit is terrified, but agrees. And Poppy says they can work with Tapey on a backing track, while Paper's excited to finally do his big Act 2 number that he didn't get to do in Episode 1 when the new arrivals were being shown around the island. I still don't trust those sparklers, though, especially around Paper. Just so flammable. Please be careful. Okay, let's check back in with Go Big or Be Last now, and what is she still doing here?
Oh, come on. At least get to 20. For Fan. Well, if you can't do 20, we'll start Fan at, 5?
This counts for my community service, right?
No, listen. You don't understand how much I lost it during this scene. After all of the fun little theories I threw out after the first episode about why Pencil would be here, and doing a whole video on who she would choose to be in an II version of Free Smart, she's just back again? She's just still there? Is she going to keep making recurring appearances? We did get confirmation in Teapot 20, spoilers for Teapot 20 by the way, that she was actually sent back in time to have another go at making Free Smart work. But what if one of those buttons on that mysterious device that one gave her sent her here? Maybe they just flipped her to a different dimension or something. Don't make me start theorizing again. Curse you. Just going to try and think. It's just another funny little one-off little cameo, just for the fun of it. But that's so weird that Pencil has now been in 2 episodes of this season. It's so weird. I mean, I still think it would be so funny if there was a proper reason, like a proper canonical reason that Pencil is here. And now it's just, you can't just say it's just a throwaway joke. But I don't want to get too deep in my own brain about this, so I'm going to say it's just a throwaway joke again, and I'm going to move on. Because if I don't, I'm going to be thinking about this all week. Anyway, yes, we do have a challenge underway. Got to focus back on the challenge here. And Box has a moment whilst holding Bonesaw's harness on the rock wall.
Bonesaw's an expert from the last challenge. No problem. Whoa, whoa!
Box, the rope!
What?
Oh! Bonesaw thought you had his back.
I do. Sorry, Bonesaw. I think I just need a sec.
What happened there? Box just literally let go. Now, consider the fact that she spent all of II being dead and literally inanimate before finally being brought back at the end of Season 2. Her seeing Fan's near-death experience might have put her in a state of shock, because she was dead for a long time. But now, as we've mentioned many times, death is irreversible, and that could be playing on her mind a little bit. And I'm sure it's playing on a lot of the contestants' minds, believe me. Definitely something for us to keep an eye on, though. Alright, we hop back over to thematic cats in the restaurant now, and Taco's still trying to connect with Teddy. They get into a discussion about when Meepad died and all of the things they did to honor him. And Teddy hasn't had the chance to do that with the people she's lost. So Teddy asks why they didn't just bring Meepad back. He's just a robot, right? Taco says they did try that, but because of the extensive damage to his circuitry, they couldn't power him back on again. And the light that Taco and Teddy were trying to fix flickers on at this point, with Taco saying the timing on that was something. I'm not saying that's any kind of hint about us getting Meepad back, but it was, as Taco said, something. Meanwhile, Cherry's cheekiness continues.
Ew, what the heck is this? You said you wanted to play dirty. Well, your wish is my command.
You okay?
Oh, just dandy. Cherries, you deserve a big hug. Oh, that's quite all right. Nope, I insist. Ah! Stay away!
Well, that's torn it. I think TK needs a break. Meanwhile, Circumspect are still flipping through TV channels with no luck, so they decide to give up on that line of investigation. That was a pretty short scene because we go straight back to the Heavy Metal Pop Stars, where Tapey and Poppy have a discussion about what happened on the cliff, while Paper's talking to Lightbulb. Paper's infuriated that Poppy's still being allowed to participate in the show after hurting Fan. Lightbulb then makes a good point, whilst also making a fun reference to Season 1.
Well, haven't you hurt people before? Rawr, I'm Evil Paper, I hate the world. I'll kill you, I'll get you, rawr.
That's not the same. I didn't mean to hurt. Well...
Look, we all have to be a team right now, for Fan. So let's buck up and put on the best bang show that this town, whatever it is, has ever seen.
Okay.
The Evil Paper days. Seems so long ago now. I mean, it was so long ago, but as somebody who's only been watching these shows for less than a year, I shouldn't really be saying it feels like a long time ago. But regardless of that, hopefully this does help Paper think a little bit more about Poppy and how people can change if you just let them in and give them a chance. You know, the kind of thing we've learned a lot during II. But right now, Poppy's being attacked by so many people and they don't even know who they are. It's not fair. They do need friends, not enemies. And again, I will keep saying I do understand where Paper's coming from here. But there needs to be some middle ground to start trying to build something here. Instead of it just being anti-Poppy all the time from Paper. Orgia is then walking to start judging the gifts and tries to engage with Meetag. But Meetag isn't in the mood to explain themselves. Well, at least Orgia tried. Maybe Meetag would open up to someone else. The problem is, I think they'd only really open up to Poppy, and everyone's already paranoid enough of those two together as it is, so that would probably cause more problems than solutions at this point. Where is all of this gonna lead? Hard to focus on the competition with all these unanswered questions lingering, but hey, OG has work to do, so let's get it done. Before the judging of the gifts begins, though, Lifering goes over to see Box, who is sitting looking, not so great. So Lifering asks if Box wants to talk about what happened at the rock wall, but Box isn't up for that. But Lifering gives her a notebook, so she can start writing a journal, perhaps, just keeping her thoughts somewhere. Sometimes that can help, just writing stuff down. OG then judges their team's gift and gives them immunity. That was easy enough. Straight over to the restaurant now, and Thematic Cats. While OG is horrified at the carnage he walks into, this really goes against his keeping things in order mindset, doesn't it? Kind of expected that face. But Teddy explains it's a rage room for Fan to let out his frustrations. Definitely not Teddy talking about her own frustrations at all, and seeing the excuse to smash things, definitely nothing to do with that. OJ also then grants them immunity. As long as they clean the restaurant up. Well, as long as Cherries cleans the restaurant up once Teddy's gotten some anger out of her system.
That was a stroke of genius, Teddy. Teddy?
Just
She gets to clean all this up when she's done.
Not it! Oh, fiddlesticks!
Only fair, I'd say. Cherries really was the top scorer on the menaceometer today. The menaceometer. Do we have a new OSR feature there? The menaceometer. Quick, someone make a note of that one. OJ then checks in with Circumspect to inspect their gift. OJ was super proud of that one. What a goofball. He tried. Didn't quite pay off. It's the kind of joke I would make. Again, you see why I like OJ so much? And while the team explains what their idea was, they have nothing to show for it. Well, until Cammy jumps in to save them, of course.
What did you find? Even Clover's luck came up with nothing.
Oh, what didn't we find? We were watching TV when we stumbled across a purple corn chef. But what were they pouring? Oat flour! And oats grow from the ground, which is where Cobbs died, on the ground. And while Cobbs was yellow, this foe is seemingly purple, which is the opposite color on the color wheel. So where did they come from? The opposite of the ground. The sky! So clearly, this chef has been scouring the sky waves looking for us, and won't rest until he brings Cobb's killers to justice!
Okay. But, OJ says that's precisely the kind of wacky conspiracy theory that fan would adore. So, Circumspect have also gained immunity in this episode. That just leaves the heavy metal pop stars, and since immunity is pretty much being handed to everyone in this challenge, they'll surely be safe. Right? Alright, let's just get this out of the way right now. Anyone who knows me knows I love PJ. So let's just get the inevitable clip done and dusted, so that we can move on.
If you're planning to serenade me, it won't get you any bonus points.
Hey, you said no favoritism! Just tuning this for Starfruit. I've got something else up my sleeve.
Always full of surprises.
I love them. I will always love them. I sure hope one of them isn't the one who dies in this season. You do that to me and I will never forgive you. No matter how much it would fit into whatever story you're trying to tell. Alright, I'm not even going to think about it. Let's check out this amazingly epic performance, shall we?
Recycle, crush your garbage self, reclaim identity, get up from that tumble as a new entity. Let's rock!
Alright, Tapey, and solo track, now!
I don't know why Bot said I tried to stop me tag. So yeah, I was kind of wanting to let it play out, but can you blame...
Poppy, you wanted it to happen?
Poppy, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
What did you mean by that?
No, I never meant for anyone to get hurt. I just wanted some answers.
You know what? No! I don't care what you wanted! Couldn't you tell things were going too far?
Guys, enough.
Everyone back up! Safety squad, hurry! You think this is what fan would want? Is this the best version of yourselves? If you can't learn to build camaraderie to lift the spirits of someone who nearly died, then how can you learn? You're all up for elimination. See you tonight.
OJ!
Oh. That didn't go so well, huh? Also, my second heart-stopping moment of the day happened there when Paper started that fire. He's literally Paper. Fire bad. I told you those sparkles were going to be an issue. Way back in episode 1 when we talked about it. Also, OJ's little glance at Paper before declaring the team was up for elimination was heartbreaking. My heart stopped and then it broke. All in the space of like a minute. Ow. But, I shouldn't complain because I have been calling Paper out for the way he's been treating Poppy. I've been so in both minds at once with this. He's got to stop treating Poppy so badly. But also I understand where he's coming from. But it's affecting so much more outside of Paper's little sphere of paranoia, So anyway, I guess OJ putting that team up for elimination, me and OJ are on the same page. I think OJ did it as kind of this might hopefully teach you teamwork. I'm going to vote one of you out. Actually, I don't know how that works in essence, but I think OJ just wanted to teach them all a lesson. I think OJ, do you know what? In the back of my head, I was thinking to myself, OJ put this team up for elimination because I think he thought that Paper might actually get the boot. But I think also he probably thought that Poppy would most likely get the most votes. But I don't think OJ would have been too fussed if Paper did get voted out. Because, well, one, it would take Paper out of the competition, which would keep Paper a lot more safe. Because he wouldn't be taking part in any challenges anymore. They are trying to make it safe for everybody. Obviously, they don't want people to be put in risky situations. But Paper being out of the competition means that Paper's just going to be back home and OJ can, take care of him, look after him more. And that's also the other part. Like, two, OJ can hang out with Paper more. So I don't think OJ would have been bothered at all if Paper had been voted out. Yeah, he'd have been sad because he wanted his boyfriend to do well, but I think there would have been like a modicum of relief if Paper had been voted out. Or if Paper does get voted out, talking as if I already know what happens. Strange. So elimination time it is, after what seemed like an episode where everyone was going to be safe. I have to point out that I do love how everyone's sitting in the same seats they were in the previous episode for the elimination. And also that I also love that Paper has claimed the big pink chair. It just works. Yeah, it's just... to be honest, it is the best chair. I'd probably take that one myself. This team has really struggled to pull together. Poppy's the force driving them all apart, which is kind of mean to say, I know. But it is because nobody can agree on Poppy's allegiances. It's frustrating. I know. I'm sorry, Poppy fans. I like Poppy too. Don't get me wrong. There's nobody I really dislike, to be honest. I just don't have dislike in me, I suppose. But but at the same time, maybe some of the members of the team have also noticed that Paper's lack of trust for Poppy has also caused issues. Essentially caused the fire that just happened. So maybe voting Paper out would help heal the rifts. See, you could look at things both sides there. Interestingly, we do get to see who Poppy voted for. Although you could say that it was obvious who that was going to be. So before the votes are read, OJ asks if anyone wants to spin the wheel. Remember the wheel? The one that can give you immunity if you land on green, do nothing if you land on yellow, and will add a vote to your name if it lands on red. And regardless of what you land on, if you spin the wheel, your vote gets taken out regardless. Yeah, that wheel. And, someone does decide to take the risk.
I mean, you all have made it clear this is my last chance. So here goes nothing.
Yes! Yes!
Wow, what are the odds? All right, so any votes cast against Poppy will not count, and Poppy's vote is removed from the urn. Let's begin. First vote. Poppy does not count.
Surprise, surprise.
Poppy does not count. Poppy does not count. One vote left. If this vote is also for Poppy, we will re-vote. It's not a vote for Poppy. So the third person voted out is... Lightbulb.
But me? Did my campaign for team captain come off too strong?
Lightbulb, no! First my pop metal debut, and now my longest time friend? You can't go!
Wait, who voted for Lightbulb?
I mean, who do you think?
My vote was removed, remember?
Well, whoever did it, just know that this light's never going out, and you'll all shine bright like the stars you are. Except whoever voted for me, of course. I'll be back.
So yeah, Poppy would have been out if they hadn't taken the chance there. And I mean, this isn't a surprise story-wise. Poppy's one of the main plot points in this season. I don't like boiling characters down to just being a plot point, but clearly, brand new character, corn-based. Clear and obvious that Poppy's important to the story. And, so them staying in the contest makes a lot of sense to me. And honestly, there was only so much Lightbulb could have brought to things. Like, we know the deal with Lightbulb. We've spent a lot of time with Lightbulb. I feel like her character has kind of... I don't want to say run its course. That's a mean way of saying it. I don't mean that. I just mean competition-wise. I don't know what else Lightbulb could really learn about herself. So, I am I don't want to say glad that Lightbulb got voted out, because that also sounds mean. And I don't want to upset Lightbulb fans. I do like Lightbulb, don't get me wrong. But she's not out. That's the thing. Hang on. It's like, it's not... She just joins the other eliminated contestants who can help other teams out. And then if they help teams that end up winning the challenge, they get points and they can come back in anyway. So Lightbulb's still going to be like milling around anyway. And I do, again, I've said this before, I do hope we see more of the non-playing characters actually pop up more often as the season goes on as well. There hasn't been tons of that. We got that tiny bit of Clover and Yin Yang in this episode. But yeah, not so much on the whole outside of those little bits of pieces. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, anyway, I do love Lightbulb's character. I really do. But I think her being voted out here is a bright move. Bright, because she was on the bright lights. Get it? Get it? Thanks, Cheesy. At least somebody supports me and my bad jokes. Before we wrap up, though, we do have a couple of other things to check in on. Firstly, we have one more Page A moment, but this one is important to the story, I promise. I'm not putting it in for no reason. But everything else that comes after this little bit is also important as well. So let's just tune into this little end scene.
I saw you looked relieved. It wasn't me.
Oh, not sure what you mean. I show no favoritism.
When I saw you running after them in the pouring rain, what if you never came back?
I know you're trying to look out for us, but sparking more fear isn't the way to do it. Poppy's one of us now, and we're all that we have.
I'll make it right.
You know, this dish was one of Steve's favorites. I really do miss him.
Hey, you okay?
Okay. Wow. All right. Let's unpack all of that, shall we? So it looks like OJ's convinced Paper to patch things up with Poppy, or at least try to, which is a good step towards Paper learning to be more accepting and getting over his fear of corn and meeple products. Whether Poppy's receptive or not is another matter entirely, because Paper's really, really going to make it hard to be friends with him after the way he's been acting, justified or not. And then our corny chef mentioned Steve directly. So yes, that is the corn. That is who we saw. Oh geez, things are getting interesting around here. And we're still not done, of course, because we have the heart-wrenching scene between Test Tube and Fan. Yes, I cried. Wasn't just Test Tube that cried during that scene. I also did. But Fan does grip her hand back, so he's either close to waking up or woke up after we cut away from that scene. And then Bot, who's also had a rough time after we mentioned, they've seen both of their parents nearly die this season already. And, got smashed by a rampaging toilet. So yeah, clearly they're not ready to deal with facing Fan in the condition he's in. So maybe Bo can be someone for them to lean on? Although there's a lot of trauma to work through there, considering, we mentioned this earlier, Bot was a Bo replacement originally, but that would be a really fun dynamic, though, if they do become friends. And yeah, that's really, there's so much there at the end of that episode. But that is it. And in my opinion, it was a really good episode, brilliant episode. High stakes, tears, more near-death experiences, more character development, both personal and interpersonal. Like, I loved everything about this one. Despite the heartbreaking moments that always hurt me emotionally and physically. But yeah, such amazing work again by everyone who took part in making this. Fantastic stuff. Episode 5, I mean, who knows where things are going to go from here. I I don't know. Is Fan going to be back up and about for episode 5? You know, is Fan going to be... I mean, how badly hurt is he other than the burns and stuff? That's the thing. Is he going to be able to be up and about? It's like, who knows? There's a lot. It was a lot, but it was a very, very solid episode. Again, there's a couple of little bits and pieces that you could maybe pick at, but on the whole, I enjoyed everybody's interactions and personalities in this episode. And yeah, we'll see where episode 5 takes us, won't we? I'm never going to be ready for it. Okay, we do have a couple of other little updates outside of the big Inanimate Insanity episode drop. We had another post from Donnie, actually. It's been a year since Donnie thought up the characters for the show that they're working on. They only actually wrote things down the next day, but it's been a year. It's been a whole year since the concept was put together, so that's really cool. So Donnie gave us some fun facts to go over. So we've got Nightlight was the first character that they remember creating and was based off a reading lamp that they had back then, which broke, has been switched out since. Oh, that's sad. I guess things do break though, don't they? We created these guys before they watched anything other than BFDI, which means a lot of characters are definitely similar to characters in other shows. For example, Bookmark was originally supposed to be Paper, until they watched Inanimate Insanity and realized it would be strange having both a marshmallow and a piece of paper. Yeah, maybe. I mean, we do get some crossover object character. We do get similar objects in shows, but I guess at some point you might want to veer away from having too many similar ones. It is nice to have as many unique ones as you can. So I totally get it. Speaking of her, Bookmark is based off a real bookmark from a real bookstore. Feel free to try and find it. The blue part's traditionally green though, so it doesn't look the same. Interesting. Now you've got... Look, you know what you've gone and done? You've gone and made an ARG. You've gone and made people go out and look for this bookmark. Okay, I accept your challenge. Although it depends, I guess, on which store and whether I have access to them or not. But challenge accepted anyway. I will go bookmark hunting, I suppose. Hey, whatever passes an afternoon, you know. Thank you for the fun little update, Donnie. I do appreciate that. This is the kind of thing I like this. I like this kind of thing. I've said it before. Like Crispy's art updates, and I just like engagement. I just like it when people just tell us little things like this. You know, keep us interested, keep us engaged, keep us chatting with each other. That's what it's all about. It's object show community. That's how this is meant to work. Also, we found out that Minty was working on a new short. The time is soon, the release of the short is near. The beacon, you say? Oh. And then, less than a day later, we got the beacon. We got the beacon. It's like 2 minutes and 59 seconds long. Like, it is totally worth your time to go and watch this, because it's really touching. It's very moving. And you know, if that doesn't convince you, we do get a little cameo from our two faves there. Rose and Nicole are in it briefly. So yeah, if me saying it's amazing doesn't convince you, watch it for them, I suppose. But it's really interesting, the storytellers. It's such a short video. I didn't want to pull any clips out of it. I just grabbed that one screenshot of Rose and Nicole. It's something you should really go and check out and engage with yourself. The kind of central point of the story, I mean, it's like kind of right there in the thumbnail. It's like a surveillance light that's just been a constant thing. So it's like it mixes the animation with reality, is what I'll say. And it's really interesting because when I watched this, it reminded me so much of, like from our house, there's a radio tower, like a broadcast tower, and it is always flashing at the top. So you could look out practically like you could look from the deck on the side of the house. You could look from like pretty much any of the windows at the side of the house. If I'm walking in a certain direction, I either walk straight past it or it's always in my eye line. And what I took personally from the beacon is finding solace in the familiar and finding comfort in the reliable. And it's funny that because that is how I feel when I see that light flashing on that broadcast tower too. It is like a constant thing. It's like regardless of whatever else is happening, I know I can look and I can see that flashing light out the window. And it is odd, maybe, but it is a source of comfort to see that. It's like, yeah, it's still going. So it's again, that's what I took personally from it. I mean, it's open to interpretation for other people. I'm sure Minty had a very, very specific thought in mind as well, because Minty does put a lot of himself into the stories that he tells, and I really appreciate that. It's very moving. It touches me greatly. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry over a bloody flashing light. Help. Help. Alright, go check out the beacon. It is really good. It's really, really well put together. And it's 3 minutes long. I mean, it's not gonna take that much time out of your day. Just go and watch it. And if you haven't watched Noya yet, go watch that as well. Because that's also fantastic. And you really definitely should have watched it by now. Alright, we've got a little update from Wuggolo, Chelsea, about Object Lockdown 15. Likely will not be starting production on the episode until January. Thank you all for your patience. And again, Chelsea had surgery, needed that recovery time. This totally makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, we're coming into December now, and I'm not saying that people don't work on stuff during this month, but usually there's a lot of winding down, and you really want to put your feet up if you can. I won't be. I'm going to be going full steam ahead with all of this stuff as usual for December, and I've got some other projects on the go right now as well. Might briefly mention it at the end of the video. We'll see. But yeah, totally get this. Chelsea needs a little bit more rest and wants to really, or just more time to plan the ideas for the episode. Totally get it, but also do totally appreciate the update. Just again, keeping us up to date with all the stuff. It's just a nice thing. It just keeps the engagement going. It keeps the community aspect going, and I always do really appreciate it. So you keep resting up, Chelsea, if you need to. Absolutely no rush back. You do what you need to do, and I certainly hope your recovery is going amazingly. And finally, we did get a little bit of art from Yolkroll. Sparks the Sky drew this one. I love this character so much. I don't know what it is, and I said this when I was talking about Object Show plushies with the merch video over the weekend. There's just something about Object Show characters that I find really endearing. I don't know what it is. It's probably the whole idea of having inanimate objects be animate. It's just, there's something about it that I find really charming. Obviously, look what I've done this year so far. So this is really cool to see. I love it. Don't know if this is character from Flaws or not, or if it's just a fun little piece of artwork. Here's the thing. It's me not being in Discord servers and stuff means I probably do miss out on things like characters and stuff like that. But at the same time, I am always in two minds, more than two minds, because I haven't joined any Object Show servers. And it's because I don't know why it isn't. Well, one, I'm already in loads of other Discord servers from my Twitch streaming days. I made lots of awesome friends on Twitch, and I don't want to leave their servers. And I don't want to add tons of other servers to my list because I can't keep up with them all. That's the other thing. It's like there's so many things, and I don't want to be in loads of places where I could end up missing stuff. So I'm missing stuff not being in them, but I would still miss stuff if I was in them. And I'd also be laying myself bare to be like way or bombarded with other servers to keep up with, and I can't do it. I can't do it. I've already stretched myself thinly enough, so I'm just going to keep enjoying stuff like this whenever it pops up. And then I could end up making a theory, which is absolute nonsense, and someone could say, well, if you're in the Discord server, you'd know this. It's like, it's fine. You can just tell me stuff. That's what the comment section is for. I mean, you can still call me stupid if you want. That's fine, but you can at least relay the information to me. Anyway, I love I love this. Help! I love this design. Either way, I love this character so much, and it's funny because going on from Yolkroll, Eggy, who the creator of Flaws, also jump scared me just today, actually, before I recorded this, by doing some fun out of sausage roll. Look at this. I'm gonna maybe in the weekend episode, maybe I'll just do a little collage or run through of all of the wonderful fan art I've had from people over the last couple of months. It's just been so wonderful. Every single time I love it so much. Thank you everybody who has drawn Sausage Roll. I really I love to see him in lots of different people's styles. And Eggy, thank you. I just out of the blue, I just got a YouTube notification. It's like, oh, what's this? It's like, oh, Eggy drew Sausage Roll. Listen, I really appreciate it. Man, that's PFP worthy, isn't it? It's kind of like he'd be popping up from the side of the portrait frame thing. I love it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, and that will do it for this midweek episode of Object Show Roundup. This is episode 25, by the way. Totally forgot to mention it at the beginning of the episode. I mean, yeah, it's like, so what? It's just a number. But me and my brain and round numbers is like 25. That's halfway towards 50. It's a quarter of the way towards 100. Yeah, okay, that's a long way away. But yeah, that 25 of these. 25 of these. I'm really having so much fun doing it as well. It's like such a good time. I'm really having a really fun time doing it. And I know I've said that before, but I need to keep reiterating the fact that I really do enjoy it. And I feel like I meet somebody new every time I put an episode up. And I have honestly met so many amazing people this year. Not physically met, but interacted with so many amazing people this year. And it's been such an awesome time. And heading into 2026, which I know we've got a whole month left yet, but I am absolutely just full of optimism for just OSC in general, because there's so much cool stuff going on. There's so many cool projects still to be released. There's so many shows that are ongoing that are just amazing, and I can't wait to see where they go. And yeah, and there's still shows that have been out for a while that I need to actually dive into. I really hope I could find time as we get through the next couple of months to actually watch some other stuff that's been suggested to me. I will try my best to get to new stuff, but things are a little bit busy with new episodes coming out at the moment. Like I say, BFDIA 23 is next on the agenda, so that's what we'll be talking about on Saturday for sure. Yeah. I did also just want to say, Eternal, the person who started doing their own Object Show where he dives into tons of stuff, has watched so many things. Videos are like nearly daily over there. Absolute legend. Absolutely just blitzing through all of these shows. And there's some that I'm not going to get to them for who knows how long. So absolute kudos to Eternal. But Eternal got past 100 subscribers recently. Congrats on that. Awesome stuff. Onwards and upwards. You keep doing what you do. And I swear I will try and watch more of your vids. I swear, I just do so many other things. It's like trying to eke out time to do anything else is rough. But I swear I'm going to try. I want to engage more with your content. I really do, because you are super sweet and you give me a shout out in every single video. Thank you for that. Keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing awesome. All right, I did mention that I had other projects on the go. I will just quickly mention this one now that we are into December. For the last 4 years, I have raised money for the National Children's Alliance as part of their December Say It Louder campaign. I've had some really fun streams over the last 4 years doing this, and this year we are focusing on Sonic games, which some people might say, well, Mikey, that's your forte anyway. How is that going to be any kind of a challenge? Well, every Sonic game I'm playing will be a Sonic game I have not actually played. I am actually more, I don't want to say well-known, but I am way more comfortable playing the old-school Sonic games. We are talking the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis Sonic games. Anything outside of that is not my comfort zone. So we are really, really going to be diving into a bunch of stuff I haven't played before. Here's a whole bunch of what we're going to be playing. I am starting easy-ish on myself this weekend with the Sonic Advance games on the Game Boy Advance because they are 2D side-scrollers, which is more my pace. So that'll hopefully ease me into the rest of the games when we start hitting the 3D ones after that. But yes, there's a whole bunch of incentives for donations and milestones as well. I have an overall target of $500. If you can help out in any way, I will sneak the Tiltify campaign link and my Twitch link in the description, so you could hover over there if you get the chance to. Please, if you can't help, just sharing the campaign around would probably help immensely as well. Any help is help, and I think some people sometimes don't think that sharing stuff is that much of a help, but it gets it to more people. It could hit one person. One person could see it who's just got that money lying around, who was like, yeah, I'll throw a bit of money towards this campaign. So honestly, anything you can do to help will be a help. It's going to be a fun old December for sure. But of course, it's going to actually affect the schedule of Object Show Roundup just a little bit. Not massively. Well, no, it's not going to be massively affected. The thing is, I still plan on recording episodes of the Roundup on Fridays, but the streams that I have moved to Saturdays, because some of the games are a bit longer than others, and I don't want to stream them on a Sunday because I still work on the Mondays. So I'm like, if I stream on the Saturday and the game ends up taking me like 12 hours, I don't mind going to bed a little bit later on a Saturday and then having a rest on the Sunday. So some episodes of Object Show Roundup might be going up on Sundays rather than the Saturdays, because the Saturdays I'm going to be focused on my streams. So just check all those dates on that schedule to try and kind of figure out if there's going to be a Sunday episode that week or not. I will try and keep you up to date with that as we get closer to the time as well. So yeah, some episodes just might not land on the same days they usually do, you know. And then when we get to the back end of December and I'm doing streams back to back, then there might just not be an episode. Depends. I'll still try and squeeze stuff in. I promise. I do not want to neglect Object Show Roundup because I can't. Because if I miss an episode, I will invariably have too much to talk about before I know it. So I'm still going to try and squeeze everything in. But I also wanted to let you all know that I was doing this campaign. So thank you again for any support you can help. Any support you can help. Yes, any support you can provide on that. Yes, that's what I meant to say. 100%. Yeah. And all right, that's it. I am signing off. I will see you on Saturday for BFDIA 23 discussion and anything else that pops up within reason, of course, because if we end up with like 3 episodes of other things, I'm definitely going to have to space it out a little bit, but we'll cover what we can cover. And in the meantime, please do feed the algorithm for me. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, hype the video, do all that stuff. Leave comments. I'm happy to chat and engage with you all on things. I find that really fun. And yeah, keep watching object shows, keep discovering new object shows, and keep making object shows. Love and appreciate all you. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you on Saturday. Toodaloo.